So number 1 says we're going to simplify. How do we simplify whenever it has 4 terms like that? What's it called? FOIL method. There you go. 4 terms and 4 letters. There you go. What's my first? X squared. X times X is X squared. Beautiful. And hopefully by the end of this class, by the end of not today, but as the class is a total, you'll be able to do this in your head. So what's the outer?
2x.
2x. And the inner? Yeah. And if you can't already, this is what I'm talking about. Hopefully by the end of this total class, you'll be able to do 2x minus 3x in your head and go ahead and say negative 1x, right? All right, and then what's my last? Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Very good. Y'all, ooh, I just messed that x up. Sorry. Y'all okay?
Yes.
Yeah? I figured it was. Somebody's got something. Okay, all right, what about 13? 13 is a function. Very good, because it will pass the vertical line test. So that is a function. Very nice. Y'all okay? All right, number 16 and 17. Here we go, last ones. And this is going to be part of your quiz today is standard form. So standard form, there were 3 things about it. 1, you couldn't have fractions. 2, you couldn't have a negative leading coefficient. And 3, you could not have a GCF other than, oh no, very good, 1. All right, so how do you get rid of I2? Yep. All right, so we're going to turn math class into Spanish class. Everybody's saying dos and all that good stuff. So here's what you did wrong on your test as a majority. The majority of you, when you multiplied by 2, you only multiplied the fraction. You've got to multiply to everything, okay? So that'll be 2y equals, bless you. And if you don't know how to multiply this, it's parentheses, negative 1 divided by 2, close parentheses, times 2. And it'll give you an answer. So that'd be negative x, and then 10 times 2 is 20. Are y'all okay? Right? You got to have the x and the y on the left-hand side. The x has to go first, so I'm going to add that x over to give me a positive x plus 2y equals 20. Now, do not divide by 2 because this is a 1. 1, 2, and 20 only have 1 in common. Okay, y'all good?
Yeah.
All right, let's look at number 17. Oh, by the way, let's look at this. If I wanted you to label A, B, and C, A, B, and C are numbers, not X and Y.
A would be negative 1, or A would be 1,
Yeah.
B would be 2, C would be 20.
All right, so when you get your quiz, make sure that you label them like that, okay? Don't just write, do not write A, B, and C above it, because I don't know if you're saying A is X, or if you're saying A is 1, so you have to write it out, A equals whatever, okay? All right, what about number 17? What would you multiply to get rid of the 8 and the 4? 8. Very good. All right, you got calculators if you don't know. Parentheses, 5 divided by 8 times 8, and you get 5x. Parentheses, 3 divided by 4 times 8. Is that what you were talking about? Okay. So the 6y.
Can you use a fraction bracket to make life easier?
I'm not teaching you how to do that yet. Because I do not. Chapter 3.
So next chapter.
Yeah, not very long. Not very much further. And then what's 8 times 9? Negative 72. There you go. All right, so you got to have the x and the y on the left. So I'm going to subtract that x, or excuse me, subtract the y, and make sure that you keep the 72 negative. Are y'all okay? Yeah? Okay, so let's go over your perfect squares. You know you want to drive me crazy if you do that in that pen. Okay, perfect squares. You ready? What are the perfect squares from 1 through 15? Go.
1, 4, 5,
16, 25, 36, 49, 81,
64, 84, and 100, 125,
Whoa, 121 and 144.
69, 196, 55.
Okay, how did you know that those numbers were perfect squares? Like, how did we know? How did we get those numbers?
It's the answer when you multiply that number by itself.
There you go. All right, so do not cheat and look at the list that I gave you. But if you need to, for right now, you can use your calculator, okay? How do y'all feel about moving this perfect squares test instead of tomorrow to next week on Wednesday? Are y'all okay with that? Okay. All right, Monday we're out. That'll let us go over it one more time on Tuesday, and then we'll do them on Wednesday. Does that make sense? Y'all okay? All right. Okay, so how did you get 225 was a perfect square again? So the next one, do not look at the list, but if you need to use your calculator, you can do 16 times 16 or 16 squared, right? And what does that give you?
56,
All right, next one, 17,
89,
18,
324,
19, 361,
100,
400 is 20,
441,
441,
444,
484, and then 529, 576,
625.
625.
Yo, we're actually going to 25.
We are going to 25, yes.
Freshman year, sophomore year, you made
I got
And
some
now
studying to
junior
do.
year in Algebra II.
Wait,
Trig.
so I think you should do 2 years. I did 2
Good thing it's not a democracy, right? All right, let us review for our quiz. You ready? All right. So if I were to ask you what a function was, what is a function?
It cannot have repeating x.
No repeating x values, right? Which is not on your phone. Stay with me. No repeating x values, right? What would be the x coordinates of a function?
Domain.
Thank you, Kira. The domain. What would be the y coordinates of the function? That would be the range, right? What was the relation?
On to
One to one.
Now y'all should shake my head.
Nah, we
Hold on, look at it.
Don't got the right idea. What was a relation? Very first definition we learned. A set of ordered pairs, right? Remember your relatives come together on Christmas and holidays and stuff, and they're going to be together as a set. All right, what about if I gave you,
Relation.
what?
That's what it's called.
No, what was what you saying? What was that? Relation?
I didn't think you did.
Did I not just do that?
Yeah, you just did that.
I just did it. Ready to go over it again?
Probably.
Okay. What were the x coordinates called? Domain. If we didn't go over that, I have no idea how you did your checkpoint. What were the y coordinates of a function? Range.
A blank is a relation which each element of the domain is certain.
Okay. What is that fourth blank?
Function.
What's the fourth blank say?
It's the both 1-to-1 and 1-to.
Huh? What's it say?
It says a blank is a relation in which each element of the domain is paired with exactly one element of the range.
That would be a 1-to-1 function. Make sure you put 1-to-1 function.
Orange.
But wouldn't that be 1-to-1 function and on-to?
That's a good point.
No, because remember on to was the play on words was on to. It went to two of them instead of exactly one.
But in the example, it's
What's it say?
It says exactly that, and it shows what it's saying.
So we can just put function in. Just put function because it means what? We're gonna go over that. We're gonna go over that. We're gonna go over that. All right, let's look at this one. You ready? What if I gave you this and told you to find f of -7?
E plus -7 for x.
And you use parentheses. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what got you on your quiz and your test in Unit 1. It is not 3 plus 49. You have to square first. So it's 3 minus 49. Are y'all okay with that? All right, and that would be F. Watch the way I write my answer. F of negative 7 equals negative 46. You see how I wrote my answer? Y'all okay?
Yes.
All right. What if I gave you, what were the 3 rules if it was linear or not linear?
It couldn't have a negative.
No, that's standard form.
Couldn't have exponent other than 1.
No exponent other than 1. There you go.
Multiplied by another variable.
There you go. No variables multiplied.
And not
And
the
X can't be in the denominator.
There you go. No letter in denominator. Okay, this is linear. This is if it's linear or not linear, okay? All right, so here we go. Let's do some examples. What if I gave you this one? Linear or not linear? There you go. Not linear. Oh, what about this one? That is not linear. That's a square root function. What about x minus 3? That one. That's linear. There you go. What about y equals 5xy minus 3 or 2? Not linear because you've got the x and the y multiplied. What about this one? That is linear. Yes. What about this one?
Not linear.
I hadn't even finished it.
It's not linear.
Not y.
Because X is on the denominator.
There you go. All right. What if I gave you
This one.
a parabola? Is that a function or not a function?
Oh, yes.
That is a function, ladies and gentlemen. Now, is it 1-to-1 or onto? Why? Because it literally has 2 y values. Anywhere you put it, it's going to have 2 y values, right? So this would be onto. All right, what about x, y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? What about that one? Function or not a function? Function. Then you tell me 1-to-1 or onto. 1-to-1, because it literally has 1 x with only 1 y. Like there's nothing that repeats at all. Does that make sense? There's nothing. There's no extra x's. There's no extra y's. So there's 1-to-1. It's a play on words. 1-to-1. Onto. Do you understand? Do you understand these two? Okay.
Hey, but how do you know where
We didn't do any of this. We didn't do any of this. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
They were not on your notes. We did not do any of this. Pretend like it's not there. All right. What about? What, baby? Yes. You went over in Algebra 1. When you rewrite that, it's x to the 1/2 power minus 7. We just hadn't gone back over those yet, but we will go back over them Chapter 4. So that's the exponent other than 1. So that's why it's not. And remember, the square root function looked like that, just like what was it, 13 that we just did on Math Workshop.
Yeah.
All right. What if I gave you standard form? Okay, let's do standard form. There's 3 rules for standard form. No leading negative.
No fraction.
No fraction at all.
And they have to have the no degree.
There you go. There you go. All right, so what if I gave you this one? What about that? Divide by 2. So it would be x plus 5y. There you go. All right, what if I gave you this?
That's wrong.
That's okay.
There you go. You can just fix it. Divide by -1. Oh, negative 8. There we go. All right. Last one. You ready? Okay. We had to graph using the x and y intercepts. So if we had the x and y intercepts, we plugged in what number?
0.
0.
For the other one.
And if I have to have the x-intercept, I have to have x left. So yes, there you go. Very nice. So that's 2x equals 10. So you would go to the x-axis at 5. All right, what about the y-intercept?
2 times 0 plus 5y equals 6.
There you go. You've got to have, hold on. You've got to have y left, right? So you plug in 0 for x and keep going, Bill.
Divided by 5.
Yeah?
Y equals 2.
There you go. And then we connect them. Enough of the ugly words. Stop it. Make sure you have arrows on the end of your graph, okay? Because that graph will keep going.
Forever and ever and ever and all of the time.
And that's it. We all okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm pretty good.
Hey, Miss, watch
Okay.
it. Are you take points off when you don't put the arrow?
Yes. There are 2 of us, I believe, maybe 3 of us that have checkpoints that you need to finish. They are in the tray waiting on you. And I also think we have 1 person who did not take the perfect squares quiz. So we'll do that after we finish this quiz, because this quiz will not take you long, okay? They got a good job, okay?
After that, are we just try?
Well, yeah, because some people they have to finish their checkpoint and they got to do their quiz.